9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
What does? Nah, it tells you. Ladies and gentlemen, have no fear. Your councilman is here. First and foremost, let me tell you, I am out in my homie's office. We are in the warehouse. They are very scared because this is the first time I've been live on a different location. I've alerted them. So if you hear voices in the background, that's just them being normal, because I'm not going to tell them to shut the fuck up while I'm live, coming into their office and being like, I need 30 minutes of silence. What kind of shit is that? No. So if you hear something in the background, that is just people busy at work doing their thing. And you just need to focus on me anyway, because we got a lot to talk about with what just went down at NXT. But before we do that, we have to talk about Battlegrounds. Can we talk about Battlegrounds this past Sunday? Just giving us all the goodies. Hold on, first of all, are we on the YouTube? Yes, we are. Cindy, don't do that. Don't well me. I do post shows. I'm post showing it, but I'm not gonna lie. I should have watched. I should have watched along. We should have enjoyed a watch along together. How many bags do you have? I was like, is that it? He was like, of course that wasn't it. Be like, focus and do what you're supposed to be doing over there. But let's talk about Battlegrounds. First of all, banger of an opener. All right, Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka. It was incredible. That is how you start off a Battlegrounds match. North American title on the line. Do they ever disappoint when they're together? Absolutely not. They never disappoint when they're in the ring together. I love both of them. I was rooting for Kalani just a little bit more, but in the end, Sol Ruka is showing you why she is going to be a defending champion and try to grip onto that North American title just for a little bit longer. But shout out to her and her victory over there. Then we had Mike Santana pop up, which was dope from TNA. I'm glad to see Mike Santana. I like his personality. I like the way he moves. I like the way that he is in the ring and stuff. Like, really one of those building superstars from TNA. And we're definitely going to talk about him and his appearance tonight on NXT. Then we had the the 6-man tag match between Josh Briggs and Hank and Tank versus the Culling. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought the Culling was gonna pull some shenanigans. I thought Josh Briggs was gonna get converted over, but he did not. He also got a surprise from a friend that we thought was gone and was back and helped Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs pick up the win. Not sure what's going to happen with Josh Briggs. Not sure what's going to happen with him or where this is leading to, if he's still in a tag team or what's really going on. But I hope they find something for Josh Briggs, because he's a talented big man, and I think that he should be shown a little bit more in this single side. But I just know that character development needs some work. So hopefully they're at least trying to work on that a little bit, because whatever this was that he walked in with on the shoulders, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, bro. You gotta let that go. I'm sorry, you gotta let that go. You got to let that go. But shout out to them for picking up a win. And then, of course, always good to just see Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank has started to grow on me so much since they defeated Fraxium and Fraxium moved up to SmackDown. But shout out to them for holding it down. I like them as tag team champions, and I just want to see them get a little bit more build on the tag team division, especially seeing the performance from OTM we saw this past week before Battlegrounds. It's just shaping up to continue to have that tag team be a division that's something to not mess with on NXT. We saw a little bit of the extension of the D'Angelo family drama. Stacks picking up a victory against Tony D'Angelo. And then with the return of, I want to make sure I say his name right, with Luca Crucifino returning, who we thought was 6 feet under in a dozen. But he was not. He has returned. He is doing his thing still with Tony D'Angelo, but very unassuring. Anybody else smelling shenanigans with this? Anybody else feeling like the sharks smell blood in the water and they're circling their prey in Tony D'Angelo? Or maybe it's just me with Stacks. I don't know. And then there's still Dark State to have to deal with. So I'm not really sure exactly what's happening or what's going to happen, but we'll see what it leads to. Then, of course, we had the Women's Championship, Stephanie McCurry versus Jordan Grace. Dope match. Even some implications of what will be happening with Worlds Collide with AAA and NXT coming in about 2 weeks, I believe. Picking up a victory against Jordan Grace, but we got to be patient because we got to get to it. Because I know y'all want to talk about it, but we're going to get to it in just a second. We also saw Ricky Saints come out and being challenged by Ethan Page. Ethan Page challenging for the NXT North American title tonight. Once again, a lot to talk about. Then, I know they can't take the title off of Steph, but damn, Jordan needs some W's. I thought the same thing, Cindy. I would have once thought the same exact thing, but we gonna get to that. We are definitely gonna get to that. And then we had Stephanie McCurry's boyfriend taking on Obafemi. We all knew how that was gonna go. We knew the performance he was gonna put on. They put on the spotlight, but you already know the leader of the Big Back Coalition was not giving up that NXT title. Okay, let's just keep that plain and simple. We knew that wasn't gonna happen. So he is still champion. But what surprised me, the surprise of the night, we got a new TNA champion in Trick Williams. Trick Williams whooped that Trick against Joe Hendry. If you believed, you better be mad that you believed, because they have shocked the world. The NXT star is a TNA champion. Now we roll over to tonight. First match already. What the fuck? Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page, and both Ethan Page, Ricky Saints going at it, almost costing them the match, stopping the match, but everybody didn't want the match to stop, and because of that, there is a new a new North American champion in Ethan Page. I have no idea what this means. We also know the implications of what's going on with Worlds Collide, as he's going to take on Laredo Kid and Ray Phoenix, and I believe Javon Evans in a fatal four-way for the title. But where does this leave Ricky Saints? At? I'm very curious about that. Dropping the title this quickly, but apparently the storytelling is getting way different for us, okay? Because we also had Mike Santana taking on Tavion Heights. Solid performance from the both of them. You can always know what to expect from Mike Santana, but we haven't seen Tavion Heights step into singles action for quite some time, and it was good to see him back in the ring. But also, too, we know there's some trouble with the No Court Catch crew. We know it. We knew it was coming. But speaking of Mike Santana will get his shot at the TNA Championship against Trick Williams next Thursday on TNA. But y'all TNA fans will get a chance to see the champion at TNA this week and see exactly what he has to say about the brand. And then moving forward, we had Tatum Paxley taking on Jada Parker. Jada Parker, of course, showing you why Jada is Jada. You know what I'm saying? Elbows, leg drops, and then, of course, the NBA playoffs are also taking wrestlers' moves and leg dropping Indiana Pacers right now during the playoffs. So, and then, of course, the next Thea Hale coming out to try to help with Tatum Paxley and whatever that story is brewing. It's cool if it keeps Jada on television. That's just my opinion. It keeps, as long as Jada is on television, I'm here for it. I need the TNA champ at Night of Champions. We talked about it. We talked about if NXT and TNA should be on Night of Champions. And I 100% agree. I think that they should. I think they should get a chance to sign, especially in Saudi Arabia. And then we also had the debut match of the winner of LFG, Jasper Troy, come out. And his debut match against I always forget the guy's name, and I do apologize for that. But Javon Jasper showing why he was the winner, showing why he did why he was the top of the mountain for LFG. Okay. But I appreciate that, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. See how they treat your councilman? Councilman is blessed with celebratory cigars. And they rolled it for me first, man. You man, listen. This is what happens when your councilman is a part of the people. Okay, he gets his cigar hand rolled first, and then the guy did his second. That is a true gentleman right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is a true gentleman and a scholar. And I hope he continues to go far in his path and his journey. But we got to talk about it though. Main events. Stephanie McCurry took on JC Jane, and then something none of us saw coming. JC Jane ended NXT as the new women's champion. This is why I need this cigar right now, because, yo, what just happened? What did we just see? What did we just see? Like, I think even her face did not see that coming. I require your reaction on Rocks in the Judgment Day on Raw. That was wild. You know what? I get it. I'm not a fan of it, though, Cindil. Can we be honest? I'm not liking, again, I get the stamp of approval it will get for Roxy. I see the story that they may be trying to develop, but I'm not 100% on board about it because I don't think she needs that route. That's just me. I don't think that she needs to take that route. And to have her doing that, it's just kind of like, it feels slightly undermining, but again, too, we don't know what all of Finn's plan is. Is he's just using Roxanne for a honeypot, or if there is a lot more at play than we think is happening. So I don't know. It was Mike Rowe not talking for 3 seconds for me. My dude was shot, bro. I just couldn't believe that it happened. Like, after all this hype, and then how Jordan Grace got to feel to get her ass whooped. And she still hold that belt at Battleground, but the next Tuesday lose it to JC Jane. And don't get me wrong, JC Jane deserves it. If you put all the people from the PC that has come, she is one of the top veterans there. She really is like a locker room leader for how long she has been there. And I'm just so glad she was able to survive this 2.0. She's one of the very few that survived the 2.0 era and now is standing as the NXT Women's Champion. And then it makes it cool because it shows you who's the true leader of Fatal Influence, which I think has been that battle between Fallon and JC. And I think this just did make them stronger because it puts her in where she's supposed to be. She's been on a long time, and it was just good to see her get her shine, get her reign. And now it just makes me think even further. Stephanie McCurry is going to Money in the Bank. Stephanie McCurry might be going to Money in the Bank. I'm just throwing it out there. She might be one of the participants on Money in the Bank. If you don't hear anything or you don't believe me about anything, Stephanie McCurry is about to be in Money in the Bank. And she probably going to Raw. And she most likely going to be the number one draft pick to Raw. Since it wasn't Roxanne, I think Stephanie McCurry is going to be the number one draft pick. So was there a real problem, fatal influence, or did they play us? I don't think they played us. I think it's the same thing as who's the leader. It's two alpha women trying to fight one another for the spot. And you can't blame that in Fallon Henry. You can't blame that in JC Jane. And Jasmine Nix is she's the little sister. So I don't think they played us. I just think it was showing like, okay, I'm going to show you who the alpha dog is. And JC Jane just did that because Fallon got the NXT North American Championship while JC got the women's championship. That shuts you down any day. But who, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know how to really talk about this. I got to process this, if I'm being honest. I really got to process this. I wanted to make sure I came to the post show and talk about it because I will be on there Wednesday. I will be on WWT Live Wednesday because we got to talk about this. I don't think Victoria goes into the Money in the Bank. I think she walks right up on EO. I don't think I could see that. But because it's big league, they're going to put her in Money in the Bank because Roxanne could have did the same thing with EO had they not been doing this Rhea Ripley stuff. That's true. It was a great show tonight. It was a fantastic show. They blew us out the water. I agree, Cosman. Do you think they might try to fast track? I think that's what it is. When I saw Julia go up, I was like, they want Stephanie. They want Stephanie. And Stephanie's defeated all the main players now. And with JC Jane becoming champion, and this is no disrespect to JC Jane, it brings it back to square one to where now anybody can challenge for this stuff. So now it makes sense for Lola Vice to maybe take this or Jada Parker to get her shot. We've now taken a lot of the shiny toys and we're now moving them up. And it seems like it might be that way. I'm not sure because everything is so very close to one another right now with all of these PLEs. It's not sure what's really gonna happen, but I don't want to give too much on here. And so because I want to talk about this with the panel tomorrow, I want to be able to really break down and discuss this and everything because this is quite a shocker. And there's a whole thing spinning in my head about how they're trying to make this work or how they're trying to get this to go. So, man, NXT today, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Yeah, man. I got to think on this one, y'all. Otherwise, I'm gonna just be sitting here silent. I can't believe what I just saw. I don't even think JC Jane knew this was gonna happen. So, but we're gonna talk about it Wednesday. Make sure y'all check me out Wednesday, tomorrow, basically, 3:00 sharp Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. on the East Coast. We are definitely talking about this. NXT will be discussed. It will be discussed in length. Okay, it's gonna be a big episode. But until then, well, she made it known she want to challenge EO. That just makes it even more of an inclination that they might be ready to just like, yo, fast track it. Let's bring her up because they need it. They definitely need it, and they definitely need it on Raw. The fact the belts are moving on so quickly tells me that long-term runs like we had ended with Roxanne. I think so because of how many women you have there that you can't do a long run. Because, again, Raw and SmackDown need these ladies. Like, for real. Like, they need these ladies to fill in the Intercontinental Championship and the U.S. Championship because there's not a lot of them on there right now. They need to start bumping these girls up. And especially with all the Evolve kids about to come over, it's about that time if you really think about it. Because I promise you, Joe Hendry, if he challenges for the NXT Championship against Oba Femi, he's going to win because they want Oba too. I promise you, that's the only one that can topple Oba for the NXT Championship. That's how you get that lick back for TNA. Let him go after the NXT title. But again, we're going to talk about this and more tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here because, again, I got to sit here and process how everything is moving now with World Collides coming, with the Great American Bash, Money in the Bank, Night of Champions, all in here. And then Evolution 2 now being added in another Saturday night main event. So We're going to find out. We'll see very soon. So, again, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow so we can really get thoroughly into discussion with the WWT panel. So, for now, I've been your councilman. You all have a great night. Peace.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.